Good morning, good day. How are you this glorious day? Hello, everyone. Hi, hello, friends. Good morning. It's so fun to see a lot of you in chat. Vanessa's here. Michelle is here. Of course, our friend Steve Festus Casaboom, my very, very favorite. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andrew Hawkrattle. You can just call me Hawk, as I see a lot of you in chat are doing. Hello, Giratima, Nick, Tracy. Hi, everyone. If you'd like to follow along and get a little more of Hawk in your life, you can go right here, hawk.co on Behance, on Instagram, on Twitter. I'm going live again tonight, and someone mentioned this in chat last night. We were working on brand standards for an actual client. We'll be going live again tonight to work on those, so be sure you follow along on Behance, and you'll be able to see that stream, which will be really fun tonight. So if you are just joining us, this is the Daily Creative Challenge for Adobe Illustrator. I will be your guide and chef as we work through our daily creative challenges. If you missed it, our theme for the next 2 weeks is cooking. You can make sweet treats. Today we'll be baking and making some bread using the Pucker and Bloat tools, as well as the Inflate tools. In the descriptions, you'll see it talks a lot about Pucker and Bloat tools. We're going to be using the Inflate tool a lot as well. So I'll note that as we go, but it wasn't noted in the source file. So I'm excited. Let's get started. Tafael Ahmed, hello, welcome. That was fun. I love trying to pronounce your guys' names. It's just so much fun. So let's hop over here and I want to show you how you can get involved. The first way is to go to the Daily Creative Challenges, and that's just behance.net/challenge/illustrator. Our friend Wade is going to drop that link in there for you so you can click away to your heart's desire. And yes, the Brand Standards was the Monday Hangout. So this is where you can get involved. You can download our source files, which have just been updated to include those new tools. And today we're doing digital baking. So you also can click up here. And that will help you get notifications for our daily creative challenges. So let's show you other ways that you can get connected. And this is actually one of my favorites, is you can go up here to our AI Discord, bit.ly/AI Discord. And in there, people are posting messages, they are posting their challenges, and getting ready for some things that are coming up. My favorite thing ever that just happened right now is I opened the window to show you guys what the challenge was, and it is, let's actually go to this screen. There we go. It's better sized. It's this, me as the Swedish chef, there. So yes, this is where you post your work. This is where you get feedback. We have a lot of mentors in here critiquing and giving you feedback on there. And if you want more feedback, or you posted yesterday, let's go ahead and hop and show you over here. So on my Behance, behance.net/hawk.co/videos, you can see that we are doing right here some reviews of your things. So last night on my live stream, we did reviews, gave you guys some feedback on your pieces. We'll be doing that again tonight. So be sure to post in Discord in this challenge tab, and then I'll be doing some live reviews tonight on my Behance. So follow along. All right, so I've wasted 3 minutes talking. And if you haven't joined my streams before, I like to do a little bit of education and a whole lot of entertainment. So I know that the world is a little crazy right now and we're all processing through different things in different ways. But hopefully you are here and I'm here to give you an indomitable smile. Can't take this thing off of my face. If you need to borrow it for a little while, borrow it, bring it back. Don't leave it somewhere else. I need that smile. So take some joy. Hopefully I can give it to you. And we'll be having fun today doing our theme, which is cooking. So today we're going to bake some bread. Let's hop in to Hawk's Kitchen. And there we have it. We are here in the kitchen. My hat is still too tall. One of these days, I'll get it. There we go. Welcome back to Hawk's Kitchen. We will be learning today how to bake bread. I feel like you have to talk with your hands when you are a chef. So today we'll be baking bread using Adobe Illustrator. And the tools that we will be using today are the Pucker and Bloat tools, as well as the tool called Inflate. Inflate is one of my favorite tools. We haven't noted it. It's in the source file. So we're going to talk about the combination of those two today. I also want to make you work a little bit today for your file. You're going to have to do some Googling and find out some interesting loaves of bread. I didn't want to make it too easy. So you're going to have to Google a little bit, find some cool loaves of bread. And again, these challenges are intended for you to explore and experiment. And you don't have to create the same bread that I do. If you have a different kind of bread that would be fun to experiment with, or even other sweet treats, you are free to create whatever you want using these ideas and the tools that I'm showing you today. So let's go ahead and hop in here. We're getting that weird shadow again. That's all right. We'll fix it eventually. Yes, different hands reaching up. Let's go ahead and read our prompt for the day. And that is design a basic object like a loaf of bread using the inflate and deflate warp. So we'll be using warping tools, and we'll also be using that pucker and bloat as it is noted in your daily creative challenge. So as always, as you get these source files every day, I give you a little word of encouragement, a little pun, and this time we have quotes from musical theater is our theme. So if you can guess what show they are from, maybe I'll give you a prize in the future days. Today, we need to learn the basics at the beginning. Couldn't help myself. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be working with these different kinds of loaves. And our first is a Polish loaf, then a buttermilk soda, a milk loaf, and skull bread. These are all going to demonstrate different tools that we can use to create these interesting ideas of bread, right? So the first that we're going to do is we're going to create this Polish loaf. This is a Polish loaf here. I did a Google. You guys get to cheat a little bit off of me if you like. This is what a Polish loaf looks like. So I'm going to bring it over here. And what we're going to do is think about what is the basic shape of this. When we look at it, it looks like it is a rectangle that has been kind of expanded a little bit, right? And so what we want to do is using the inflate tool, think about it as inflating a tire. You're plugging in air to whatever shape you have, and you're pumping it up, right? And so it inflates and starts to get bigger. So let's go ahead and we'll make a rectangle that is about the size of this piece of bread. We're just going to do it right over the top here. And I'm going to go to Effect up here. We're going to go to Warp, and then we're going to go to Inflate. And now you can see that it's starting to inflate the shape for us, right? And let's take it to 0, just so it's a regular shape. And as we start to inflate, it starts to grow, right? It starts to feel like those corners stay there, but it feels like we're blowing into it, blowing air into it, and it's expanding. We also can take air out and do this, which is deflating. So we'll go ahead and set this so it inflates a little bit, hit OK. And now that we have this effect, we still have our basic shape. And so we can kind of pull it over to the edge and say, okay, it looks like it's a little too tall. So we can bring this down, and it will very much scale and augment with us. We're going to bring it in just a little bit. And I'm going to round these corners by grabbing these nodes just a tiny bit to make this loaf a little more loafy. So I don't know. Making something loafy feels funny. So we're going to go ahead and put this up here so that we have our Polish loaf. We're going to shrink it down. And then we want to do these score marks across the middle, right? And if we look at these, again, maybe these are inflated little ovals, right? And so to create that inflated oval, maybe we do another rectangle. So just reiterating how to use that inflate, we're going to do a little rectangle. I'm going to make this a different color, and I've pulled some colors over here just for my personal use. You can use your own colors, whatever you want. And yes, Keith, the warp option's been there for a while. It's very underused. That's why I wanted to show it off today. So going to Effect again, Warp, and then we are going to Inflate. There we go. That feels about right for those scores. So we're going to hit OK. And we're just going to drop those in the middle of this bread. Just clicking and dragging, holding Shift and Alt. And there we go. Now we've got a nice little Polish loaf, right? We did it. Yay. Now let's move over to the buttermilk soda loaf. So this is buttermilk soda, and each of these I'm trying to demonstrate a different technique used for making these breads. So if you're thinking about using the inflate tool, right? If you don't want to think about it as a bike that is pushing it up, think of it as dough that is proofing. And that's why I choose bread for this. So you can hopefully remember, if you put a dough in the refrigerator for it to proof, it means that the yeast is activating and it is rising and growing. That's what happens with these shapes, is the shapes are actually growing. And think about it as bread that is has yeast in it that is inflating or that is proofing. So this is a great example. We are going to use this shape right here on the buttermilk soda. It looks like it's a circle, but it looks like it's a little bit more of something that I like to call a squirkle. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a square right here. And you think, Andrew, we're trying to make a circle. Why are you making a square? Because we are going to inflate it. So we have our square here. We're going to go to Effect, Effect, Warp, and Inflate. And we're just going to do it a little bit, right? There we go. We're going to hit OK. And you can see that now we have this nice little shape, right? That matches pretty closely what this buttermilk soda is. Now we want to get this star in the middle, and you can just make a star and kind of play with it until you get it right. Or you can do it using the Pucker tool. Now the Pucker tool is something that will pull in at the anchor points. And so I'll demonstrate that for you. It's much different than the Inflate tool, sorry, that we were just looking at. So we're going to go to Effect. We're going to go to Distort and Transform, and Pucker and Bloat. So we want that X that goes across the middle. And you can see as we bloat, it's going to blow up those anchor points. So it's basically taking wherever the anchor points are and expanding them and pushing them out. So it creates these very interesting shapes. So we want this one to have that X. So we are going to take the pucker, which means that it's taking the anchor points and pulling them in toward the center and then leaving the opposites, right? So it's pulling it in. Think about it as if you're squishing dough, right? You have your dough and you're squishing it in, the edges will expand. And then we're going to hit OK. So we're puckering that in, pulling it in, and hitting OK. And then let's just rotate it using R, which is the rotation tool. And now we have a great little buttermilk soda loaf. We did it. We're making bread. Christelle, perfect to learn new Illustrator tools and also to improve my English vocabulary. Well, welcome. Hopefully you're learning some new words. One of my favorite words is penultimate. So look up what that one means, penultimate. It's a very fun word. So next up, let's hop over and let's do the skull bread, just so I can demonstrate, and then we'll go over to the milk loaf, just because it's a little more advanced. So we have basics, and then we have a little more advanced, and then we have the extra credit. So the milk loaf will be our extra credit for the day, a dessert course, if you will. So skull bread is over here. It looks like this. And we're going to play around with creating this skull bread. I'm going to kind of experiment with a couple different ways to make it to show you that there are different options. So the best way that I think that we can make it is this kind of circle. So we're going to make a perfect circle here using the ellipse tool. Just over here, it's also L. And we're going to click and drag from the center holding Shift and Alt. We want this for sure to be the lightest color. There we go. Yeah, it looks like it's the lightest color. And for skull bread, yes, and it's all simple shapes. You noted that, Giratima. If we look at this, hit Command Y or Control Y, you can see that these are all basic shapes. It takes you into outline mode. So we're using basic shapes to create fairly complex shapes. But again, it's all about using those very basic shapes. All right, so let's make this skull bread. And what we're going to do is much like the buttermilk soda, where we use the pucker tool, we are going to use the bloat tool. And the bloat tool makes it, I mean, think about what bloating does, right? It makes you like, whoa. It makes it bigger, it makes it heavier, and it takes those anchor points and pushes them out so that it becomes much more blobby. So we're going to take the skull bread, and I'm going to make another circle in the middle here that we will use for the bloat. And the signature of the skull bread is that it has Let's make this a little darker. There we go. The signature of the skull bread, let's write down here, is that it has these kind of 6 little woobles. I don't know what to call them. Let's call them woobles. There's a vocabulary word for you. And to create this kind of shape that is weird and wonky, we're going to come over here and we're going to go to Effect, Distort and Transform, and then Pucker and Bloat. And unlike the bread above, we are going to bloat. And there are different versions of skull bread. The one that I was looking at has 3 instead of 6. We'll do it with 6. We'll do it with 3. Why not? And what we're going to do is we're going to take this circle, and as we start to bloat, you can see that it's basically taking in between those anchor points and pushing them out, right? It's grabbing them and stretching them, which makes the anchor points kind of go in. So as we bloat, it's growing. As we do the pucker, it is shrinking and pushing in. So we are going to bloat, and that's going to keep going. And let's see here. There we go. That feels good. So you've actually probably seen skull bread in maybe some kind of bakery that would have, oh gosh, what are they called? They're like a conch something, and they're little like pastries, but they're delicious. They're like powdery. I don't remember what they're called. Conchas, maybe, I think. But yes, so we are going to bloat, and that's going to take those anchor points, push them in, grow out the in-betweens, and hit OK. And now the skull bread usually has a little dot in the middle there. So we are going to make a little circle using L. Pull it up there, and there we go. We've got a little piece of skull bread. Kind of fun. Oh, in Egypt you call it fino. Yes. Okay, fino in Egypt. I was just in Egypt a couple years ago. It is great. Can you increase the number of edges? No. So what's happening? And I'll show you with a rectangle, or sorry, with a star. Yes, conchas. Got it. We're going to make a 3-sided rectangle, and this is merely for purposes of showing you guys how this works. So the Pucker and Bloat tool, if we look here, we have anchor points at the top, the left, and the right. So I'm going to zoom in so we can see this. And if we go into Effect, Distort and Transform, Pucker and Bloat, you'll see as we start to move this, what it's doing is it's taking the anchor points on Bloat. It takes the anchor points, pushes them into the center, and the in-betweens push out. So you can see here, it is pushed to the center and then pushed out. If we go to Pucker, it is taking the anchor points and pushing them away from the center, and then the insides go in. So if that helps you understand a little bit more, it's going to do as many anchor points as you have. It will do that many stars. And yes, if you add other anchor points. So let's say that we add anchor points here and maybe over here. And I may need to move them in so it's not a straight line, but let's give it a shot. Yep, it did do it. So again, it is doing any of those anchor points. It's pushing them in. This looks like a Pokemon called Munchlax. We made a Pokemon. So if you push them in, and then again, if we do the pucker, it is taking those and expanding them out if we want to do more of those. More stars. So it's actually, we can actually see right here. There we go. So here we see we have one point here, and it is pushing it up. There's another point here. It's pushing it out. And then in between gets squished in, right? So that is the kind of idea. Let's go ahead and make the milk loaf. And actually, let's do a skull bread with 6, just so I can demonstrate that idea. So with 6, we want to use that circle. So we're going to make another circle here. And we can see that this circle actually has 1, 2, 3, 4 points. I am going to add a couple more. Where do I add these? Let's just add them to the top and the bottom so we have 6. So we rotated it. We're going to add 1 to the top. We're going to add 1 to the bottom. And why not? Let's do 8. We'll add 1 to either side. And again, with all of those anchor points, we can come in and go to Effect, Distort and Transform, Pucker and Bloat. And as we start to do the pucker, you can see that we're starting to get those different shapes. We can add that center in there, or we can do the bloat. Actually, that works better. And the bloat is pulling in. Oh, this is like a bow now. If you guys know what a bow is, this looks like a bow. So you can play with that. And again, It is taking those anchor points in between, pushing them in, and then pushing out in between the anchor points, pushing it in on the actual points. So this is a great way to make bread that has those accents. I want you guys to play with this, create your own bread, get into different things, get into some trouble, try some new stuff. And real quick, I'm going to show you how to do the milk loaf. So we're actually just going to copy this Polish loaf down because it's very similar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start combining effects, and this is the extra credit. If you want to make fancy bread, this is the extra credit. So you don't have to do this, but I would love if you did. We're just going to select these three, and we're going to play with another warp called Rise. We're going to go to Effect, and again, we're doing bread terms. That's why I wanted to cover Rise as well. Effect, Warp, and click on Rise. And you'll see as we do rise, it's starting one way and then rising up to the other. So we're going to put this all the way up there. We're going to hit OK. And now suddenly, if we change the colors, maybe we have a little more of a milk loaf, right? It starts and then rises using the rise. Kind of fun. And yes, pork stuffed buns. Oh my goodness. Yes, Hawaiian delicacy. Delicacy. Very, very fun. So that is how you create different kinds of bread using the Inflate and Deflate as well as the Pucker and Bloat tools. What I want you to do is go ahead, make your bread, make your sweet treats, and show me how you have expanded them. And then maybe even show me by hitting Command or Control Y, all of your simple shapes, right? It's crazy that all of these are squares, rectangles, and circles, but we've created these very complex, basic loaves of bread. So go ahead, go to bit.ly/AI Discord. This is where you will get in. This is where you can post your work. And that work will be coming up. That work will come up here in Discord. There are great mentors here to give you feedback. Colby, Jack, Kathleen, Rocky, and myself will be in here to give you feedback. And if you want to join us tonight, again, behance.net/hawk.co/videos. We will be going live tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, doing reviews of some of your challenges, as well as working on some stuff for an actual client, which will be really, really fun. And yes, thank you, Wade. Don't forget to post in the Discord channel. So just to recap one more time, we have a few minutes. I always start to land the plane and then realize we need to like coast a little bit because we got a few more minutes. I want you to show me the different kinds of bread or sweet treats that you've made. Maybe note what it is. Maybe note what kind of pucker, bloat, inflate, deflate you are using. And then maybe even post a screenshot using the outlines to show me the basic shapes that you have been using. Kind of fun. So let's take a look at the schedule of what's coming up. We have some great friends. Our friend Brittany Urich is coming up next. And then, of course, you've gotten some Andrew Hockrattle, so why not some Andrea Hock? We are a team. Andre Hock is what we call ourselves. And then at 2:30, Alice Lee is coming up with some doodle therapy. So make sure to stick around and hang out for those. As always, let's see, maybe I'll give you guys, do you guys want to do another giveaway? Let me know in chat if you want to do another giveaway. And while you decide on that, again, if you are just watching, just tuning in, this is the Daily Creative Challenge. Hello. And I don't do the video challenges every day. I will be in Discord, working in the Discord and commenting some of the other days this week and probably next week. So Rughad, thank you. First time here. So much fun to see you. Love seeing everyone here. So post your work in the Discord. I will either give you a video or I will be in here to comment. Yes, everybody wants a giveaway. I get it. Okay, we'll do a giveaway. All right, we'll do a giveaway. And what we'll do is for the next stream, which is coming up at 12 o'clock, when they go live, your secret emoji will be croissants. Put a croissant in chat when we go live, not before. When we go live with our friend Brittany, go ahead and drop a croissant in there and then look for my message. I will pick a winner and you can pick any of my fonts and you will get it for free to use in whatever you want. So stick around for that next stream. And when I say when the chef calls for service, I need you guys to serve some croissants to our friend Brittany. So thanks for hanging out today. It's been so much fun. I want you guys to stay positive, try to put on a smile, and hopefully this brings you some joy. I know things are crazy out there, so if you're feeling mentally exhausted, feel free to reach out to somebody in chat, reach out to one of our mentors on Discord, or take a break, go for a walk. And though you do have an assignment, again, I'm giving you homework. Text a friend, check in on them, see how they're doing, and make sure that they are being loved and that they're okay. So go check on your friends and come back in 5 minutes with that secret emoji, the croissant, for our giveaway. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11:30, or I'll see you tonight at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Bye.